Hello friends! Today we're going to be doing a yoga stretch routine to help loosen our hamstrings and glutes. So if you are experiencing any type of lower back pain at times, or if you tend to sit for extended periods of time, or if you stand for prolonged periods of time without taking breaks and walking around and stuff like that, chances are your hamstrings and your glutes are tight, and you're going to feel that through this yoga stretch practice. This yoga stretch is very easy. It's not intended to get your heart rate up. We're not going to be doing sun salutations to transition into the next pose. So it is a beginner style yoga class. This is perfect for people who are interested in starting a yoga program or a fitness program in general, and you just want to start with something simple and easy to follow along with. So you don't need much today for this practice. If you have a mat, go ahead and grab it. If you have yoga blocks, go ahead and grab it. If you don't have it, don't worry, you don't need to have it. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Start standing, and I just want you to bring awareness to your body and just how you feel today. And I want you to take your toes and spread them out and make them like, like their little claws grabbing onto the ground. And then just notice how your body feels. You can shift your weight forward and back to the front of your feet and then to your back of your feet. And just slowly bring your attention back to center. So just allow yourself to rock forward and back on your feet, and then eventually find stillness at center. Alright, so while you stand in this position, your legs shouldn't be locked out, okay? They should have a slight bend in your knees, your feet are about hip width apart. And then you're going to just go ahead and make sure that your hips are stacked underneath you. If you tend to stand with your back hyperextended and your hips are kicked out, right now I want you to think of an anchor, a weight, drawing your tailbone down, okay? And same thing if you tend to tuck or round your tush forward. I just want you to think about finding that center and the balance between that. So engage through the glutes, engage through the front of the legs, so that I'm talking about squeezing. Use those muscles right now. And then I want you to think about zipping up, drawing your belly button in towards your center, and then bring your chest straight up towards the ceiling or the sky, and then your chin follows. So you're standing in a nice strong mountain pose. Now when you're thinking about all these things that you're doing, you're just standing. However, in yoga, you bring your awareness to every single part of your body and how it feels. And then we start to incorporate the breath as we move past stressors in life, and you incorporate breathing into your practice. So go ahead and take your hands to your heart, and I just want you in prayer, and I just want you to take a couple moments, 3 breaths, just to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. With each breath, I want you to bring your belly out, so just allow yourself to relax through your gut. If you're a gut holder and you're constantly sucking it in, allow yourself to actually breathe normally. So expand through the belly, then exhale. The belly will draw back in towards your center. You can close your eyes while you do this if you feel comfortable. If you are not comfortable with that, keep your eyes open. Keep your gaze on a single point. Take one more breath in this stance. Breathe in through your nose. This time be vocal as you exhale. Let out that extra air. Now as you breathe in, I want you to sweep your arms up above your ears. So inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. Big, tall stretch. And then exhale, I just want you to let it all go and just collapse forward. Allow your belly to come to your thighs. And I want you to inhale and reach up. And exhale, collapse forward. One more time. Big inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, this time I want you to take your right arm, grab your left wrist. As you exhale, take a nice side bend, and your gaze is going to look up towards the sky. Or ceiling in my case. And then inhale, reach up, switch hands, left hand grabs the right wrist, pull up, and then exhale, sink into a nice side stretch on the other side. As you inhale, reach up towards the sky. This time, gracious bend in the knees. You're going to exhale, fold forward. And just in this forward fold pose, you're going to start to feel the stretch through the back of your legs. Now some options here. You can actually bend your legs enough so your belly lifts on, lays right on your thighs. And then you can start to work on straightening one leg and then the other. And when you're doing this, you're going to feel a really good stretch through the back of your legs. If your hamstrings are tight, your glutes are tight, you're going to literally feel that pulling all the way through the back of your leg. If it is too intense, don't straighten your leg all the way. If just bending forward and resting your tummy on the tops of the thighs is a good enough stretch for you, you can stay there as well. So just take a couple breaths just to slowly straighten or just relax in this pose, whatever feels best for you. Now I just want you to inhale, and I want you to squeeze with your glutes, pull your belly button up, kind of like draw your stomach in, and this is our flat back position. It's a forward lift, and I'm dropping my shoulders away from my ears here. I'm using my legs here to hold myself up. I'm engaging through the lower body, and I'm drawing my energy is coming out both ends. I'm nice and flat back. Then I just want you to exhale, fold one more time. You can straighten here if that feels good one more time. And then I want you to think about expanding your toes, gripping the ground, drawing your tailbone down, and then rolling up one vertebrae at a time. And raise your arms right up to the ceiling. Exhale, take your thumbs together, fingertips together, and then take your hands right back to your heart. Take 2 more breaths here. All right, we're going to go ahead and stretch it out. We're going to get into our warrior one pose. So standing at the top of your mat, all you're going to do is step your leg about 1 stride distance apart. Your back leg is going to be at a 45-degree angle, okay, in comparison to right in front of you. All right, your front leg is going to be pointed straight in front of you. Your toes are forward. Now, my hips opening up to the side, I want to try to turn the hips and square them up. So I want them to be even with each other. So you may have to adjust your back foot to see what's comfortable for you, the foot angle or the distance apart, okay? So kind of play with that right now. And then you're just going to allow your heel to fall to the ground right back behind you. We're going to take a little micro bend in that front knee, okay? So once again, we have that 45-degree angle here. We're squaring up the hips. We're drawing our belly button in. We're dropping our tailbone down. Then I'm going to inhale, lift my arms up with a little bend in the front knee. And I'm going to take a moment to breathe here. And then exhale, I want you to take your arms back behind your body and drop your shoulders away from your ears. Think of that weight being in your hands right now. And then allow there to be space between your chest, head, and neck. Now, if you're having problems with balance, just focus on staying here. You can keep your hands here or above you, whatever works best. Maybe taking your hands back behind you causes you to lose your balance. It's okay, it will get better. Now, my back leg, I need to keep it charged. I want to think about engaging through the back of my leg and my glute. All right, exhale, release the hands, and then I just want you to step this leg straight up to center, to the front of your mat. Same thing other side. So first, find a comfortable position, a comfortable stance. Remember the front leg, we're going to have a little micro bend in. The back leg's at a 45-degree angle, and then our hips are going to point towards the front of your mat. Inhale, reach those arms forward. Exhale, draw the arms back. This time, opposite hand will lace on top. The one hand that feels weird, draw your shoulder blades away from your ears. Allow yourself to breathe here for a moment. You should feel a really good stretch through the hip flexors here, meaning the front of the thigh, that back leg is active here, but you're going to feel the stretch here. And also in yoga, there is that heat that you build, and as you learn to sink deeper into those poses, you're going to actually start to strengthen the muscles as well. But today we're really focused on stretching and not trying to strengthen necessarily. So just taking a micro bend will give you that nice feel, that stretch. Go ahead and release. Step the legs together. Inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, bend forward, allowing the tummy to rest on the thighs. Once again, you can peel those hips up towards the sky, straightening out one leg and then the other. And then I just want you to take your hands down towards the ground and step one foot and then the other foot into plank position. Now, if holding plank is too difficult for you, that's okay. You can always come to your knees. All right, so you're on your knees or you're on your toes. It completely is dependent up to you and your ability. Now I want you to think of drawing your hips up towards the sky and allowing your heels to lower onto the ground. Once again, if your calves are really tight, then you're definitely going to feel this downward dog. All right? So quickly, we're just going to shift forward. I should say slowly. So roll forward one vertebrae at a time. And then I want you to just do that again. So lower your hips back into a downward dog. Now my hip points, I think about lifting those hip bones up towards the sky. And then slowly, as I become more flexible, I focus on dropping those heels down towards the ground. This is a really good stretch for the whole backside body. You'll feel it through your hamstrings, your glutes. And one more breath here. Let's come on, go down, lower to our knees, and rest here for a moment in child's pose. So sink your hips back, take your fingertips, walk them forward so you feel a stretch through the upper body as well. And if you want to feel a little playful and see what this feels like, or if you notice that one side is tighter than the other, allow yourself to take some deep breaths in the pose. So take your hips from the left side to the right side, feeling that shift. You're getting a nice glute stretch in doing so. And we're going to finish with one final stretch. It's called pigeon stretch. And if you have problems with your knees, I will give you an alternative to this move. If you don't have a problem with your hips or knees, then this pose was completely fine for you to go ahead and try out. So I just want you to come back up into downward facing dog. So press away from the ground, lift those hip points up towards the sky. Then lift your right leg up and then bend your knee, and you're going to bring it across the mat. So that foot here, go ahead and make an adjustment. Your front leg should be engaged here. You use those glutes. And then just here in pigeon pose, if you are very tight, you're going to feel this stretch through this hip. Now, although you're tight, we tend to hold, grasp, and clench when we're actually tight in an area. And I want you to think about doing the opposite. This is when it's really important in yoga to continue to breathe. Remember to breathe. And with every breath you exhale, release that tension, release that fire. And if you have the flexibility, or you can use blocks to aid you, you can lower down onto your elbows. As you lower down, you're going to sink a little deeper into that stretch. So find a comfortable position for you where you can actually find the relaxation in your breath. If you are so tight that it's actually causing you to grasp or hold your breath, then I don't want you to keep trying to lower down and to go further into this pose. At that point, you're not going to be helping yourself and maybe even make it worse. So I want you to find that relaxation, and if that requires you to come back up to your hands and make these small adjustments and just be comfortable here, or you can even use the block here to lift the ground once once again, up closer to you. That will take out some of the stretch until you become a little bit more flexible with time. Now, let's go ahead and tuck that back leg, lift the knee off the ground, and then we're going to press the right leg back to meet the left once again, coming into downward facing dog. Same thing, other side. Lift the left leg, and then sweep it through across your body. So once again, I want to make sure I'm actually working with this back leg. So I'm going to engage, squeeze my glute, and then I'm going to try to really relax my left hip. And so once again, you can decide if you want to lower down further, or maybe you take a couple breaths here at this point, and then after you start to feel that release and you're ready to deepen and go further into the stretch, you're welcome to do so. Lower down into it. Now, another thing with yoga is you might find that one side is way more flexible than the other. So as I'm in this pose, I can see that on my right side I was feeling a little bit more comfortable in that stretch, lowering down to my elbows. However, this time my left side is a little bit tighter. This can be due to just imbalances, so I may sit favoring one side, crossing your legs, many different things, standing with more weight on one leg than the other. All these things can cause muscle tightness on one side more than the other. So it just is a chance to allow you to observe. Now go ahead and tuck your toes, curl your toes under, lift your back knee up off the ground, and then sweep it back into downward facing dog for the last time. Go ahead and lower it to your knees, and we're going to go ahead and lay on our backs. This is the alternative move that you can do if that pigeon pose is not comfortable for you, or if you have that knee pain, then I welcome you to do a figure 4 stretch. So laying on your back, all you're going to do is lift your, cross your right leg over your left. So you're making this 4 with your leg right now. Then lift your left leg, and your right arm's going to thread through, and the left arm is going to come around the leg to meet it. Now right here, you can choose to make this stretch a little bit more challenging by pulling your left leg towards you. And as you do that, you're allowing this hip to relax, you're allowing this knee to push out, and then you're going to pull this leg in closer to you. You can also do this with the bent leg to increase the stretch even further. So go ahead and try that. Even if you are able to perform pigeon, I still want you to practice this pose. It's still a really good stretch for the hips. And you have the support of your back against the ground, so maybe you can go a little bit deeper in this pose. But always, always, always listen to your body. And then go ahead and release. Let's go ahead and switch other side. So fold the left leg over the right leg, and then lift the right leg up towards the ceiling. And again, play with the variations. Maybe you bend the knee and work on pulling the knee towards your chest. However, if you are very tight, just breathe. Just accept the, just use your breath to get those muscles to release. If this is your first time doing this pose, then I am sure you're going to feel tightnesses in places you didn't know they exist. But I promise after this, you're actually going to feel different. You're going to feel a lot better. And if you were experiencing back pain or even tightness through the back of the legs, this is going to make you feel like a whole different person. All right, go ahead and release the legs. We're going to windshield the wiper legs. So windshield the wiper the legs left and right. Just feeling a nice spinal twist until those legs are eventually straight. And this is our final pose in yoga. It's called corpse pose. And it's usually the final pose for the practice. And if you are interested in meditation, then just stay put and follow along with me. And if you're busy, you've next thing to do, you don't have the time designated for this part right now, then thank you so much for joining me today. If you like this yoga practice, please do me a favor, a huge, huge favor. Click that thumbs up button, leave me a comment below. What do you want to see next? And subscribe to this channel. Have a good day. And if you're going to hang in there with me for this final meditation, then I encourage you to start to deepen your breath. Lengthen the time it takes you to inhale. Lengthen the time it takes you to exhale. Breathing slower, breathing deeper breaths can actually add years to your life. So think about that as you get stressed out and you start chest breathing very heavily throughout your day. So take a couple deep breaths. Slow your breathing. In this meditation, I want you to think about releasing your weight. So allowing the ground to hold the weight of your body. It sounds like a weird concept, however, most of the time we're so guarded and we're stressed that we can't really allow ourselves to fully let go. So I want you to think about that right now. How right now you were feeling like you're just lying on the ground, but this time I want you to think about actually exhaling and letting yourself become part of the ground. So you're totally relaxed in this space. You're totally safe. And allow yourself to just think about nothing. Tap into your breath. Listen and feel what it's like to breathe deeply, to breathe fully. And take a moment to reflect on something that made you happy, something that made you smile or laugh in the last 24 or 48 hours. Whenever it was last, that you got a good laugh. What was happening around you? Relive that moment, relive the smell, sounds, the people, the place. Allow yourself to smile right now. And then I want you to start to bring awareness to your body. Go ahead and move your fingers and your toes. And then slowly roll onto your right side. Take one more final breath here. Breathe in through your nose. Fully exhale. And then go ahead and be in a seated position. Thank you so much for joining me today for this yoga practice. It feels so good just to stretch without a goal, without a means of competition, but just to get yourself moving and allow yourself to release these tight areas in your body and just to take care of yourself for a couple minutes. If you enjoyed this, please click that like button. Subscribe to this channel so that way you will get all the notifications of the next workout videos, and I am excited to seeing you next time. Have a great day. Namaste.